Coming at you live from my home studio in beautiful La Puente, California. This is the All Dodgers podcast. What is going on, Clint Nation? Happy Modelo Monday to you. I'm not drinking Modelo tonight. I got some honey, Jack Daniel's honey, because my throat is still a little, sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit. So we'll try not to talk too crazy, try not to talk too a lot, but it's just me here today, so we're going to be talking a lot. And yes, we are going to be talking about the latest with Juan Soto. There is some Corbin Burnes news today, Willy Adames, there's some Walker Buehler. We got some rumors, we got some news, we got whatever you guys want to talk about. Again, it's just us today, so let's hang out here on another edition of All Dodgers Live. But let's get into the show. My name, again, is Clint Pasillas. I guess not again, I haven't said it. Clint Pasillas, find me as Real FRG on the Twitter, on the Instagram. I'm a longtime baseball writer, sports editor. I've been talking about the Dodgers here on the internet for a very, very long time, and now I do it here on my own channel. Entering year 2, doing it here on my own channel. Consider giving the show a thumbs up. Consider giving the show a like. If you can't watch live, check it out on podcast platforms. Leave a rating and review there if you can. Really, really helps out the channel. But yeah, how are we feeling tonight, guys? Let me know where you're representing your Dodgers fandom tonight. Drop them area codes in the chat. What do you want to know about these rumors? How do you feel about Juan Soto and the Dodgers apparently meeting tomorrow? That's the big rumor we got to talk about. Calvin the GOAT in the chat wanting some Roki Sasaki to go along with Corbin Burnes or with Blake Snell. Haven't heard very much about Blake Snell. Haven't heard a lot of these prospects, not prospects, but the hot stove rumors. So I'm going to turn up my volume. Sorry if it gets a little jacked here. I just realized I was a little low. Now we're going to sound better. Sorry, people had to change their volumes a little bit. It's also, now I'll leave my headphones on. We got voicemails coming up. Also, listen, if you guys want to sound off in the voicemails, go ahead and do it right now. 562-373-4095. Also, you can leave a text. Call at any point during the show. Call at any point when the show isn't live, and maybe we'll read a voicemail or whatever. Listen to a voicemail. All right, enough pussyfooting around. Let's get into it. Let's get into this Juan Soto rumor. So the latest rumor today, literally an hour-ish before we went live here, before I'm going live, the Dodgers are set to meet with Juan Soto this week. Says possibly as soon as tomorrow. I think the more we're hearing about it, the more it seems like it will actually be tomorrow that the Dodgers and Juan Soto are meeting up. This isn't anything of a surprise. They're supposed to meet up. The Dodgers are going to do their due diligence with just about any free agent player, anyone that makes a lot of sense for the team. And as much as we kind of, I don't want to say don't want Juan Soto, because I've said it again, I'll say it before, I've said it again, all that kind of stuff, or however the hell the expression goes. Sorry, I'm distracted, as you can tell. Said it before, I'll say it again. If you can get Juan Soto, you can add somebody the caliber, the talent level, offensively, that Juan Soto brings, you go out and you fucking sign that dude. However, there's a lot of pieces that come along with that. One, yes, he is a poor defender in the outfield. Whether it's in right, whether it's in left field, he would be a bad defender, and he would be a bad defender for the Dodgers for the better part of a decade. If this guy's looking for a contract, 13 years, 12 years, 14, 15 years, whatever the hell him and Scott Boras, his agent, are trying to get right now, he would be in that spot because the Dodgers have Shohei Ohtani at DH for the next, long time, 9 years at this point. So, if we're looking into this and the latest rumors, to button that thought up, yeah, you want Juan Soto for the bat, but there's holdups, there's issues, there's defensively, there's the money side of it. The dude is gonna make a lot of money. We'll get into those reports right now. Just so I don't forget the timing of it, let me do this right now and tell you guys about Bet Online. It's the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, Bet Online provides you with the most action, or with all the action, and the ability to watch games as they happen. happen. I got to tell you, I wish I would have bet on that Mike Tyson fight. I wish I would have bet on Buffering to win, Buffering to be the biggest challenger in that Mike Tyson fight. But anyways, BetOnline, they have the largest selection of odds with everything to football, NBA, college basketball, NHL, UFC, MMA. Head to BetOnline to go check it out. BetOnline, head there today. Get in on the action with America's most trusted site for online wagering. BetOnline, the game starts here. So back into Juan Soto. Let's really dive into this. And again, I want people's thoughts on Soto, thoughts on the latest rumors. So dive into the comments. So again, Juan Soto, Dodgers, set to meet tomorrow. Whoever's going to be part of the Dodgers contingent. I'm assuming there will be a Shohei Ohtani in the mix in there, because why would you not use your prize pig to go out and talk to another prize pig in free agency? But they're set to meet tomorrow. The latest, Soto met with the Red Sox on Friday. They had a 3-hour meeting that was, quote, productive. The apparent rumors have it that Soto's camp has spoken with the Blue Jays, the Mets. I think as we're talking right now, why did I retweet myself? That's my fault. As we're talking right now, Soto is either meeting with Yankees contingent or has already met with Yankees contingent. There's nothing newsy. There's nothing new that's come up from that. So I'll be watching as the show goes along. Blue Jays in the mix, Mets in the mix. Mets offered big time money. The report over the weekend, there was an initial offer of $660 million to Juan Soto. Now, when you're talking $660 million, I don't know about you guys, but I don't got $660 million on me. I've never seen that kind of money, but it's a lot of money according to reports. And it's still, I'm rehashing the same type of shit we've talked about a whole lot here on this channel, some on Dodgers territory earlier today, and just it's the through line for this particular player, for Juan Soto, for this Dodgers offseason. It's a lot of money, and I don't see the Dodgers going to that level of commitment, even as good as Juan Soto is. And we've had conversations in our All Dodgers Discord about, you look a few years down the road where Mookie's getting older, Freddie isn't on the roster anymore. Potentially Max Muncy, he'd be older either way. Max Muncy older off the roster. There isn't really a shortstop right now. You don't really have an outfield. You have Shohei Ohtani. You have both aging Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts, but you're getting somebody like a Juan Soto. Yeah, it absolutely helps out your cause down the road. 4 years from now, 5 years from now, this year, this coming year, chances are pretty high the Dodgers could run it back if they sign Juan Soto. But then you start looking into that, 6th year, 7th year, 10th year, 13th year. Like, when does it start to, I don't know. I mean, I guess talking about it this way, I talk myself into it more. If you can try to almost guarantee yourself 3 titles in 13 years, is it worth it? There's a question for you guys. Is that worth it? And I'll stick with my buddy Tim Rogers running a narrative, series on his channel. Hell, it ain't my money, but it is. We will be paying for it on the back end. You saw how much prices were at Dodger Stadium this year. You saw how much it was to park at Dodger Stadium during the postseason. Mr. Classic in the chat talking about mentioning it would be definitely a deferral. I don't know that Scott Boras goes the deferral route. Now, it's said Juan Soto wants to win for sure, but he also wants to be paid gobs and gobs of money. He also wants to be given years and years of security. So there's a lot of factors at play. And we've talked a lot about this. I understand there's going to be a number of comments, probably in the after play, after we're live here, people in the comments saying, enough about Juan Soto, he isn't going to be a Dodger. I understand that. Like, I hate this time of year, and I also love this time of year. I'm not a big rumor guy. We're going to talk more about rumors because Jon Morosi's going off right now. And that's let's just say it's a funny time of year right now. This period before Thanksgiving, well enough before the winter meetings when nothing is happening. There are some little moves, and fringe kind of nothing seismic is going to happen before a few days before the winter meetings. But I'll pin that. We're going to get into that. I don't know if the right word is diatribe, but we'll talk about that in a second. But to pin this Juan Soto stuff, we have to talk about it until it's done. That's just the way rumors work. And if the Dodgers are linked to Juan Soto, and if the report says, hey, they're going to fucking talk to this dude tomorrow, we got to talk about Juan Soto. But when we're talking about the money, we're talking about this report, and obviously it hasn't been substantiated. We don't know. We don't know really what the Mets offered, what Steve Cohen offered. But the Mets, if it's said to be $660 million, I will say it again. I do not see the Dodgers going to that level of commitment with the amount of money they already have on the table, with 9 more years of Shohei Ohtani, and then a whole bunch of deferred money, coming after that. Mookie Betts, Yoshinobu Yamamoto. There's a lot of money. I don't see them going to that level of commitment. A reminder. So we got a reminder. Last week, Jeff Passan, ESPN, said the Dodgers, quote, won't chase Juan Soto. There's one reminder. There's a note that I will reiterate something I said earlier today on Dodgers territory. The Dodgers are going to be used a lot this offseason in negotiations, or more so in other teams and agents blah-blahing about it, and agents using the Dodgers in negotiations with other teams. We're going to see them. Usually the Dodgers, when they're in on somebody, we don't hear a whole lot. We absolutely don't hear shit when the Dodgers are actively in on somebody, especially a non-Boras client. When it's a Boras client, you hear about it because John Heyman talks. Another reminder, I'll say it again, said it on the channel a few times, Steve Cohen will not be outbid. I don't know if you want to call outbid 1 word or 2 words. He's not going to be outbid. Juan Soto's going to be a Met, unless for some reason he really wanted to be a Yankee. But the money factor, the Boras factor, generational talent factor, he's going to be a Met. We'll keep playing the game. We'll have some fun with this for as long as it goes, and it's going to go for another month. I don't think. Maybe at the earliest, absolute earliest, maybe Juan Soto signs at during the winter meetings. Maybe. Place your bets on when that happens. Hey, go to Bet Online. I'm sure there's a prop about that. But let's hear what you guys have to think. I'm gonna have a sipple here. Diane, of course, doing the Lord's work in the chat, letting you guys know to subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 8,500 subscribers on the channel. Would appreciate it if you would be one of them. If you watch and aren't subscribed yet, give the video a thumbs up. Sound off in the chat to help out the show. Showtime LA in the chat saying he'd offer 12 and $550 with an opt-out after years 4 and 5. That's not a bad deal. I'm assuming. What is the AAV on that? I'm not a big-time math boy, so I'm not 100% sure what that averages out to per year. It's probably pretty easy, but I'm just going to keep talking about not doing the math when I could just sit here and probably, pull up the calculator and do it real quick. But still, I don't. It's Shohei Ohtani changed the game when it comes to contracts, because it's almost $46 million if we're looking at that deal. Shohei Ohtani and the $700 million deal changed the game, because before that, the highest valued deal, non-free agent, just highest valued deal in baseball history was Mike Trout. Was it 462, 465? It's a lot of money. $465 million for, I think it was 12 years with the Angels. Condolences to Mike Trout for still being an Angel. Again, the Ohtani thing, trying to get somewhere up in the above 500 million. Maybe we all, or maybe I have my sights set too high because of Ohtani, and $660 million, $600 million, $500 million for a dude that can't play defense or can barely play some defense. And I understand the defenders, the Juan Soto wanders, are going to say he was better statistically than Teoscar Hernandez. Yeah, but Teoscar Hernandez played for $23 million last year and isn't going to play for nearly 50 or north of 45 next year. It's such an insane amount of money. The commitment, even at 12 years and 550. I'm pre-Ohtani. We're not even having this kind of conversation. But I think the Ohtani thing, it changes the game, and it probably put some sort of, I don't know, put a chip, less of a brain bug, but more of a chip on Scott Boras's shoulders to try to beat it. Young Yi says, unless there is something going on between Dodgers and Teoscar, this meeting with Soto before meeting with Teo may not sit well with Teo. The reality is we don't know if the Dodgers and Teoscar Hernandez have had any conversations. They're never going to be open and honest about that. There's no reason for Teoscar's agent to take away even more of his, we'll say flexibility or what's the word I'm looking for? Teoscar Hernandez has laid it all out there. He wants to be a Dodger. There's not a whole lot of negotiating power left on Teoscar Hernandez's side, unless it's a lot of money. So the Dodgers don't need to talk about it. Teoscar, his agent, Rafa, I think his name is, whatever it is, they don't need to throw it out into the world that, hey, the Dodgers and Teoscar Hernandez are talking. So I don't think it's much of a, slap in the face so much to say that they're talking to him before we hear that and know that they're talking to Teoscar and working something out. I think this team really does want Teoscar Hernandez back. I really do believe they want him back, and I think you can use that money, the amount of money you would give a Juan Soto. I'm going to keep going back to this, and I'm sorry, it feels very repetitive right now, but they can use that money in a lot of different spots. Thank you, Mr. Classic. Rafa Nieves is Teoscar Hernandez's agent, and he's did a pretty good job at letting Teo bet on himself. Steve A, I agree. Dodgers absolutely are not signing Soto. Again, I think there's just a myriad of reasons. There's one glaring reason why the Dodgers should sign Juan Soto, and it's the bat. It's the generational talented bat. But is that enough to get through the money, get through the bad defense? Thank you. Somebody also put the word leverage in the chat as well. A Silva 6 says Juan Soto can play first base after Freddie retires. Smith, being Will, can also play third. We haven't seen those guys play either of those positions, so it is a concern to be like, hey, entering the season, Will Smith is going to move to third. Now, if we start to see him play a little bit of third here and there, maybe backing up a little bit third somewhere this season, start to get a feel for it. We saw Will Smith try to play first base once. It was only like one out or one inning, and it was bad. When I hear Juan Soto going to first, I can't help but think of Jock Peterson playing first base and how painfully bad that was, how just disgusting of a watch that was for all of us. So to sign him without ever having seen, to sign Juan Soto without ever having seen him play first base, and thinking in the back of your head that somewhere down the road he could move to first base in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, I'm sure he could figure it out. But if he doesn't, you got yourself a hell of an albatross, and he could hit. The albatross can hit. There's another thing, too, that they're talking about with what am I looking for? I had it, and I lost it. There's another thing they were talking about with words. And his preference to be on the East Coast. Money talks, bullshit walks. Or is it the other way around? I think for $660 million or $600 or $500 million would make Juan Soto happy anywhere to play. But anyways, that's about it right now. I don't want to talk for another, what are we at? 20 minutes in to this show. It's a lot of Juan Soto for a guy that there's a lot of us don't think will sign here. A lot of people don't necessarily want him to sign here. I saw somebody defending me. I think it was IB Strokin in our Discord saying that I was indifferent on Juan Soto, which is a great way of putting it. If they signed him, Absolutely. I would buy all the way in. I'm not going to go get a number 23 jersey because he's not wearing number 22, obviously. I'm not going to get a jersey. But if he ends up being a Dodger, you buy in on that. But if not, then you really hope the team doesn't just kind of punt the offseason. And yeah, they're in a really good spot as it is, but you still got to hope they bring back Teo. Really be in on Willy Adames. And we're going to talk Willy Adames in a few minutes. Be in on more players, more people. Juan Soto being one man who doesn't do everything great. Probably not going to happen, but we will be watching. We will continue watching throughout the off season. Let's move on. Let's talk about Corbin Burnes, and this is the we get into the. I should probably have a noise. Let's get into. Let's say, no, that's a bad one. We'll do. There it is. Ta-da! We're gonna get into the the Jon Morosi section of the show, where Jon Morosi says words, and I understand. I'm on the internet right now saying words. But we're here, we're hanging, we're having a good time. We're not, I'm not telling you anybody's signing anywhere or anybody's meeting. I'm talking about other people's rumors, and I'm trying to either debunk or add my input to the rumors or to the what we're hearing, I guess. I don't know. Enough my bullshit here. Jon Morosi said today that he gets the sense. I'll put that in italics. He gets the sense that the Orioles, the incumbent Orioles, of course, the Orioles, if we're talking Corbin Burnes, he was an Oriole last year, had a very good year with the Orioles. The sense that the Orioles and the Dodgers are the, quote, leading candidates in the Corbin Burnes sweepstakes right now. Worth noting, again, he's another guy who's looking for $200 million deal, maybe like 7-8 year contract. Steve A says Morosi, the Toronto Shohei BSer. Yeah, I don't trust very many JPs on the internet, I'll tell you that. There's no reason for any of that. But they're called, the Orioles and the Dodgers are called the two teams that stand above the rest right now. Also mentioned, it was on MLB Network today. It's also mentioned that there are just teams that have a quote broad interest. This might have been from MLB Trade Rumors, so that word, that expression, the broad interest, might have been MLB Trade Rumors words, but I like it because it's kind of where we're at at this point of the offseason. It's teams, it's agents, it's insiders just saying teams have an interest in. There's not a whole bunch of conversations. There's a lot of things going on in the background. The organizations are having a lot of conversations with each other about how to approach signing a Juan Soto, how to approach signing a Corbin Burnes. But Corbin Burnes, again, apparently the Dodgers stand out, or one of the two teams right now stand out above the rest when it comes to signing Corbin Burnes. He would also have the draft pick attached to him. And I don't want to make this show, I don't want to always be the guy that poo-poos on these rumors, because there will be times where we read some rumors, we find some rumors that are real, that there's some smoke to the fire, or there's some fire to the smoke, however that expression goes. As Mr. Classic says, the trophy is equal as a meeting. Yeah, if Soto meets with the Padres, I think that's as good as winning the offseason. They don't even need to sign him; they just need to win. But yeah, Corbin Burnes. We talked about this on Thursday. Myself, producer Kevin, who's not here today. He'll be back on Thursday. He is too good for Mondays. He's also a busy boy. I never told him he had to come and hang out every Monday. This was supposed to be our day, and here we are. But we're talking about it on Thursday, and if you have all of the dudes available, all of the big name free agents, and one guy or one area where I do believe the Dodgers will be operating at the top of the market, and this is what we talked about on Thursday, it's in starting pitching because of the issues we saw last year. And it's worth noting, Dodgers pitching coach Mark Pryor joined us today on Dodgers Territory, did talk about the six-man rotation, much like the hope was that they were going to run with a six-man rotation this year, and he mentioned the fact that they kind of tried, but of course injuries didn't help, but that was sort of the goal with Glasnow's kind of injury history, Yamamoto coming over from Japan where he pitched, every 6 days. That was the goal last year. Best laid plans of mice and men did not allow that to happen. But the full-blown goal from day one is a 6-man rotation in 2025. Now, Mark Pryor didn't say it exactly like that, but Brandon Gomes, Dodgers GM, said it pretty much like that 2 weeks ago at the MLB, the GM meetings. Bob Student 10 says, great show today with myself, Mark Pryor, Alana Rizzo. Check it out if you have not on the Dodgers Territory YouTube channel. The channel is linked here in my channel as well. And the link to the video is in the description of this. But all of that said, the Dodgers need one more frontline guy. Corbin Burnes, 2021 NL Cy Young Award winner. However sketchy, fishy it was. Not fishy, but, not on board, not on the level the way he got that Cy Young Award in 2021. Of course, not pitching or not going beyond like 2 innings or whatever. Craig Counsell bullshit, yada, yada. You guys remember. If not, look it up. It doesn't really matter. You need one more, and the Burnes factor. Burnes gives you a lot of innings. That's the big thing. Nobody else. Maybe Max Fried gives you some innings. He's definitely somebody who gives you some innings. But Corbin Burnes gives you the ability to have a strikeout. And I understand I had a conversation with somebody in the chat, the comments section of the last YouTube video. Somebody saying, "How stupid are you guys?" or whatever. Corbin Burnes, his strikeout percentage has gone down in each of the 5 years. Yes, I understand the numbers of it, but he also still possesses the ability to kind of rear back and strike guys out. Max Fried doesn't really have punch. He doesn't have strikeout stuff. In my opinion, yeah, he can get some strikeouts, and his strikeout percentage was higher this year than in Corbin Burnes. But if we're talking about a big spot, bases loaded, 2 outs, and you need a punch, or bases loaded, nobody out, you need a punch so you can hopefully set up a double play. Give me Corbin Burnes before I take Max Fried. But anyways, point of all of this, and this is just to reiterate, and we'll move on. I got a super chat from Richie Flores, so thank you, Richie. Get there in a second. You need one more guy, and Corbin Burnes gives you a lot of things. He gives you innings. He posts. He gives you 30, 32 starts. He'll be there. Every 5 days if you need him, or if it's going to be every 6 days, he's going to give you 28 starts, whatever the exchange rate is on a 6-man rotation. But he helps out your rotation a lot, where Yamamoto, less is expected of him. Glasnow, less is expected of his elbow. Shohei Ohtani coming off of injury and only hitting last season. Gonsolin, Kershaw, Dustin May, rookies like Knack and Kasparius, Wroblewski, whatever they become. Emmett Sheehan coming off of an injury when he comes back. Nick Frasso coming off of an injury when he makes his debut. Having one dude who can be one of your guys who's a frontline ace type dude who can give you 180, 200 innings goes a long way. It goes a long way, and this is something that Mark kind of talked around as well, is their goal was this year to have that 6-man rotation, so it would ideally not hurt the starting pitching as much, or it would give them more chance, more rest between starts. But also you got to factor in the bullpen. This is what he talked about, and again, I recommend you guys go check it out. It helps out the bullpen, or it does affect, I should say, it does affect the bullpen. If you have one less guy, they're working more. I don't want to dive too much into this. We'll do another edition of the show talking about pitching, myself, Kevin, or whoever else joins the show. But point of the matter is, right now, Dodgers are apparently in on Corbin Burnes. We haven't heard anything Blake Snell. We haven't heard anything Max Fried, but we have now heard something Corbin Burnes. So there's where you're at on this Monday. But let's hit that super chat, $4.99 from our friend Richie Flores. Thank you, Flores. Thank you very much, Richard. I'll have a drink about that, and sorry for drinking into the mic. That sounds probably annoying. But he says, if the Dodgers get Soto, he'll be forever known as the one who prevented Teo from returning. Don't waste money on Soto. F that ex-Padre. And listen, if we had a Richie comment and there wasn't an F somebody in there, I'd have a problem. So, yeah, I mean, does Juan Soto preclude the Dodgers from getting Teoscar Hernandez, because they do need more help beyond that? Even so, I don't want to dive too much back into Juan Soto. Sarah Morris in the chat, appreciate Sarah hanging out, says Glasnow worries me, would like to trade Glasnow for someone. I agree with the worry. I agree less with trading Glasnow. Talked to Mark Pryor today about that as well. As of this point in the offseason, Tyler Glasnow is allegedly, reportedly, according to sources, source being Mark Pryor, Dodgers pitching coach, Tyler Glasnow's in a good spot. He's healthy. He's on vacation right now. If you follow his wife on Instagram, you know they are at what's the big waterfall? You know, the waterfall. Anyways, they're on vacation. They're doing things that wealthy people do in the off season in November. And when he comes back, he's going to start his throwing program or continue his throwing program, building up. And then he's the goal is to get him back off a mound the first week of January, and then have him ready, fully built up to get into spring training. So Tyler Glasnow should be fully ready to go. He was throwing during the World Series. He should be fine. Thank you, Bob Suit 10. Niagara. I don't know if it was Niagara, but Niagara Falls. It's for you old folks out there. Diane as well. Michael, Niagara Falls. I don't know why I couldn't do it. Listen, I'm not a well-traveled boy. I like hanging out right here in beautiful La Puente, California. I had to do it. If I say it, you got to push the buttons. I want to stop for a second to tell you guys about our Patreon. I've mentioned Discord a couple of times. If you are looking for a different way to support the show outside of hitting that subscribe button, outside of hitting that like button, outside of sharing to your grandma and 3 of her sexiest friends, I'm sorry, it's a bad image, but check out our Patreon. It's patreon.com/realfrg, or right here on YouTube members, there's a join button. For $5 a month, you're supporting the show, supporting independent baseball coverage, Dodgers coverage, and also 2, you get access to our Discord server where a whole bunch of us, the community is growing crazy. It's a fun group of people. Appreciate the fine folks there supporting the show, but also getting to know each other. Again, it is literally a community, a little family, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's a good time on Discord. So for $5 a month, you get access to our Discord server. You just got to support on Patreon or YouTube members. If you can't do that, again, I'll tell you subscribe, and I'll remind you again, I've already talked about it a little bit around it. Check out our interview on Dodgers Territory today with Mark Pryor. Some good stuff in there. I love talking to Mark Pryor because he's a wordy fella. He has a lot of things to say, and when you ask him a question, he gives you a very, very full-throated answer, I guess, is what we'll call it. But moving on, we are going to get to voicemails in a little bit, so appreciate you guys hanging out so far tonight on the Monday. Good turnout in the stream so far. Like it, share it again if you haven't, but let's talk Willy Adames market, because it appears to be filling out a little bit, and I'll say this is more Jon Morosi on MLB Network, and I'm going to get into that in right after we talk Adames. I want to talk specifically Morosi, specifically MLB Network, and this dead period where we're manufacturing rumors. But this one, Willy Adames, of course, the Dodgers, we all have an interest in Willy Adames. I think a lot of Dodgers fans, as the offseason has trudged forward, a couple of weeks since that World Series win, identifying some areas of need. Yeah, starting pitching, and we've talked a lot about this already on the channel. But there's also like a need probably at shortstop, a need in the outfield for sure, and Willy Adames fills the shortstop one. So a lot of teams. The market is filling out according to Morosi. The Astros have thrown their name in the hat. The Blue Jays, Braves, and Red Sox are said to have some interest in the shortstop, maybe moving him to third base. We've already talked about this on the chat. As DJ Jesse says, Vineland swap meet, not very far from there. I'm far enough into the good side of town here in beautiful La Puente, but not very far. I pass it when I'm going to the Target, because I'm classy. I go to Target. But other names that Morosi threw out there was Dodgers, Giants, and Yankees, said to be we'll call it a fit. He said to be a fit. So many words, but it's like, duh. Of course, all of those teams are a fit for the best available free agent shortstop. That's a no-shit Sherlock situation. Willy Adames, yeah, I don't even want to talk so much about this because we've talked about him. He fits. It makes a lot of sense for the Dodgers. I hope they really, really explore like all the way in explore the Willy Adames market. I would love to see him be the guy, like Willy Adames and Teoscar Hernandez be the dudes the Dodgers sign, and have some money left over for maybe a Blake Snell or some other starting pitching, as opposed to a Juan Soto. That's what I would like to see. But I want to bitch here. I want to complain a little bit as Elisheva says, asking, didn't Morosi say Ohtani was going to Toronto? Yeah, he was one of the JPs talking about Shohei Ohtani, the Blue Jays. He was the one who mentioned the plane. He was on a plane heading to Toronto to sign the contract, whatever. But I want to talk about the phrase that we're seeing right now, broad interest. So I've done this for a while. I had to be the main dude who essentially came up with headlines at my old job for the website side of things. This is the time of year where you find your guys. This is Bob Nightingale's time to shine. Same with trade deadlines. Bob Nightingale's time to shine. It's Morosi's. It's Rosenthal. Passan, of course. Golden God. He can do no wrong. Robert Murray's a dude. All of these guys. John Heyman. They tweet something. They write about something. And people in my field take it, run with it, turning a whole show into other people's stuff. It's aggregating for sure. I do aggregating with a purpose. We look at the news, we look at the rumors, we look at the headlines, and we have an honest conversation here about it. I'm not telling you, hey, this is happening. I'm not trying to put, like a rumor meter to it or whatever. I'm just letting you know how I feel. I think the Dodgers are going to talk to Juan Soto. Daniel Barry Sports highlights says Soto would be great. I don't think, and I agree with that, but I don't think he's going to be a Dodger. Willy Adames, I really hope he's a Dodger. I think there's a lot of other teams that have some money that would look to him as a building block for their organization. Corbin Burnes, I think he's another one of those guys. I don't know that the Dodgers are willing to go to Corbin Burnes levels of money. When other organizations have money, will probably be interested in something about it. But Diane says that's because they have nothing to write about right now. That's where we're at right now. We're talking about broad interest and what we're reading, what you guys see on Twitter. That's the big thing now. Like, the websites are dying and people are posting, like 50 fucking kids and have a Twitter account and a Canva account are making these graphics that are aggregating Morosi's work, that are aggregating every insider's work. That's what happens right now. That's where people are getting their news from, that and the Tic Tac, whatever you kids are into. But they go to that, you see it on Instagram, and you share it on a Facebook group or whatever, and that's how the things are spreading more so. And this is where, like, the website side of things is dying. People aren't making money. People aren't getting as many millions of page views as they were when I was running things. I'll tell you right now, when they're talking about broad interest, it means there ain't much of shit going on. That's the reality. There's just not much going on. There's not much out there yet. And there won't be, and I already said this earlier, there won't be. Thank you. Perfect time from Bob Student 10. Wait till the winter meetings. There's not going to be a whole lot of traction, action, movement until the winter meetings. Maybe a couple days before. It doesn't mean we can't all be here and hang out and talk about what we're hearing, because we all want the next big name. We all want a free agent. We all want our team, our Dodgers, to get better and try to go run it back in 2025. That's why I'm still here doing this instead of just not doing content, because I don't believe in what we're talking about. I believe in, Mark Feinsand is the guy who tweeted about the Dodgers meeting with Juan Soto. Mark Feinsand's a guy I believe. He has some inside sources. Morosi talks to people. He's like Jon Morosi. And I have no major beef with Morosi. Like, he's a respected dude. I've met him before. He's a respected dude in this field, but he is like among the biggest rumor mongers this time of year because of a few reasons. There's a few reasons we'll lay out. He's one of, like, the MLB network insiders that the network hasn't burned a bridge with, because there are several they have burned bridges with. So he's the guy that their flagship morning show, number 2, their flagship morning show, they turn to him multiple times a week to give them the pulse of what's going on in the rumors. You see Harold, you see Matty V every morning talking about the hot stove, because that's what they're supposed to do. It's a rumor monger show. And sometimes there's something useful there. Absolutely. Sometimes there's something useful there. But that show for the network needs to generate clicky headlines. They need to get something from him, from Morosi, that they could put the video in a Twitter clip and put a quote and let every asshole who has a website go and run with it. Or like an asshole like me, make a video about it. That's what we're here to do. So when you're seeing some of the things right now, I don't know, this is a weird thing I wanted to complain about. I appreciate you guys listening to my TED Talk right now. I don't want to poo-poo on your off season. I don't want to shit on your hot stove because it's probably be stinky. But right now, there's not a whole lot going on until the first week of December. We're going to hang out. We're going to have a good time. Morosi is going to be that gossipy chick in the high school that hears something and severely embellishes it. But he's loosely connected. He's got connections, but you know, he's not Passan. He's not Rosenthal. Look at how Jeff Passan only tweets when there's something to say. I love the man for it. Love the man. Listen, all of this shit, there's a sliver of truth to what Morosi is saying. But if we weren't in this climate of clickbaiting, most of this bullshit wouldn't be happening right now. I appreciate it. We wouldn't be here talking if it wasn't for it. I wouldn't be able to make a little money off of doing this show to help support my family. If it wasn't for this, we wouldn't have as much fun conversation in our Discord if it wasn't for these people and these rumors and other aggregators speculating and doing whatever with it. So it's fun. So thanks, Jon Morosi. But anyways, I just want to throw that out there. There ain't nothing going on. And next week is Thanksgiving. There's even less shit going on. Real rumors are coming in about 2.5 weeks. Still going to be here. Cole says speculation is fun, but there's no reason to think anything until the real news breaks. 2024 World Series champs are doing good. Yeah, absolutely. Soak up, I'll say that. That's a great way to end this. Soak up that World Series win. I saw a comment a little bit ago saying, wait, we're still, whatever it said, something about we're still World Series champions. Like, how many times have you watched that fifth inning or the game 5 of the World Series? Should watch it a lot. I want to watch it again. I'm really looking forward to whatever the hell Apple's putting out. I want to watch more documentaries. But I'll be honest, I haven't watched it. I haven't watched Game 5 probably since like a day after it happened. So maybe I'll treat myself this week to a rewatch of that Game 5. But anyways, just wanted to throw that out there. That said, let's get back into rumors because Jon Morosi said that the Braves are in on Walker Buehler. Cubs also mentioned by Jon Morosi. And with this, I'll throw this out there. A thought I had when I was seeing that, hearing that, reading it. My thinking is the further along we get into this offseason, the smaller chance there is that Walker returns. That's my feeling on it. I think there's less of a chance that Walker re-signs with the Dodgers as we get deeper into the offseason and there isn't a new contract, there isn't a conversation happening between the Dodgers and Walker Buehler. So I do believe as well that his market heats up at the winter meetings. I think it's going to feel decently like Cody Bellinger's market after he was non-tendered by the Dodgers in 22-23 offseason. There's a chance he signs somewhere, and it's going to be not with the Dodgers. And, as the offseason has trudged on more and more, I hope he comes back. I would love to see Walker Buehler come back. I don't want to see him in a relief role. I think he's still a starter. I think he learned a lot about himself in the World Series. They need to figure something out. I would love to see the Dodgers do something with Buehler before the winter meetings, but that's if he wants to come back. Now, understandably, a lot of these guys, they're still partying. They're still celebrating. Walker Buehler just had, he had a day named after him today in Lexington. So congratulations to the Buehler family. His mom, Karen, tweeted about it. And it's Walker Buehler Day in Lexington, Kentucky. He had his golf tournament, his annual golf tournament over the weekend, raising money for whatever it is. I think it's like some sort of cancer research, doing good in the community is Walker Buehler, and he's having a fun time. That's what he's trying to do. He's this guy. He just won a World Series. He's feeling good. There's no reason to rush back. Same reason like Clayton Kershaw opted out of his, or not opted, he didn't opt into that contract. He's like, I just want to hang out a little bit, have my surgeries, feel good about myself before I consider signing up and maybe I'm hurt. Maybe I can't pitch anymore, whatever it is. I think we feel confident enough about Walker. But I would love to see maybe in the days just leading up to the winter meetings. And that's, 2.5 weeks from now. I think it's Monday, the 2nd, December 2nd. Bad day is December 2nd. If you know, you know. I would love to see the Dodgers get something done just after the Thanksgiving break, or maybe in the first day or two at the winter meetings. But I also wonder if we talked about this too, I think on this channel, maybe it was on Dodgers territory last week, giving him the space to kind of explore his market, which is fair. This might have been Kevin who said this. They did the same with Clayton Kershaw a few years in a row. He wants to, if you want to go out and talk to other teams, understand what your value is, now's your time to do it. We want you back. We hope you want to come back, but talk to some other girls, and then we'll see what works out. If I don't know why I had to make a weird relationship thing, but still, I would love to see that. But even if Walker takes another couple weeks into it, and maybe that's all right. I don't know. I don't need to expand more. We're there. We're good. I would love to see him re-sign before the winter meetings. Wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't happen. I'm also feeling that the deeper into the offseason, to pin it and reiterate everything, also feeling deeper we get into the offseason that there isn't a new contract, the less likely we are to see Walker Buehler back. Especially with, again, the Cubs mentioned to be in on him. Atlanta Braves, makes a lot of sense in a Braves uniform. Makes a lot of sense in just about any team's uniform. If he was an Angel, somebody rebuilding his brand a little bit, 1 year prove it deal. But why not do that prove it deal with the Dodgers? I can see like both sides of it. Like the Rays have a great front office, but also they don't have a stadium anymore. So maybe he's not going to sign somewhere there. Yankees, that would be horrible. Mets. But maybe one day he comes back into Dodger Blue. Michael Negretti says Buehler is taking the day off, and because you guys to see Buehler's day off. I want to hear more from you guys. Got a couple voicemails. Like I said, I want to fire them off right now. They're from our regulars. Might as well just call these guys unofficial co-hosts on the show. We got Richie. We got Noah, as you know, called in today. Let's listen to Noah real quick. Let's hear what Noah has to say on the All Dodgers voicemail hotline.
Well, what up, guys? It's Noah, as you know. And I gotta say, guys, hashtag no Soto. I don't want Soto. I don't want to give that guy over $500 million when we can literally sign so many players for $500 million. That's the most important thing I have to say. On top of that, guys, is I hope everyone's having a good time. Make sure to join us on Discord, and fuck the Dodger Stadium parking lot. That's all I have to say, guys. And by the way, a little bit of a backstory. I'm always listening, but not chatting. So if you got something to say, I'll watch the chat. See ya.
I love when he's about to end it there, and he's like, wait, hold on. But one more thing, and I appreciate that, and I respect that out of our guy Noah, as you know. Another one, not super high end on Juan Soto. It's the money. It's always going to be the money. It's also going to be a little bit of the defense. Hey, you know what else we got lined up? We got my guy, Richie Flores. Let's hear what Richard has to say on the All Dodgers voicemail hotline.
Well, hey, Clint.
Happy Monday to you. Well, congratulations to everyone. Welcome to the dog days of the off season, where every writer that you've ever heard of and writers that you never heard of, other YouTube channels, except for Clint's, of course, and everybody and their mother are essentially hungry and desperate for any type of off-season news. So a lot of times that they'll just make up bullshit, or they'll throw out their opinions, but misleading everybody, saying that it's gospel. And then the next thing we know, we're all tracking a plane on an app, and when that plane lands, it turns out to be the Backstreet Boys are in there, and nothing of significance happens. Moving on to the pitching injuries. I'm just convinced that analytics has really screwed it all up. These high school kids, or even earlier than that, are drilled into their heads that velocity is the name of the game. It's the analytics. It's the numbers. And back in my day when I grew up, we had people like Greg Maddux, or even better, Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan pitched till he was 46 years old, never spent a day on the IL. And why? Because he was into fitness. He was into weights on his legs. That's all he focused on.
Legs.
On his legs all the time. Legs. That's all he did. Why? Because he was a firm believer that that's where your power comes from as a pitcher. That's where all the power is located at. Greg Maddux will never be accused of throwing over 95 miles an hour, but yet he was a surgeon. He was a Picasso. He was the maestro of a Philharmonic, where he would go out there and carve guys up with off-speed pitches and breaking balls and fastballs that were strategically placed, and it was breathtaking to watch him play, and that's the reason why he's in the Hall of Fame. And finally, this is where the real world sets in. So my nephew, Jordan Flores, who's an E3 machinist mate in the United States Navy, shoved off for his second deployment over the past 2 years. He'll be gone for 6 months. And it was sad to see him go. I watched his ship sail out of the San Diego Bay and into harm's way, and he'll be gone for 6 months. So if you love the game of baseball, if you love your freedom, if you love watching Clint do his thing, if you love enjoying a Dodgers World Series championship, the next time you see a vet, shake his hand and say thank you for his service. So God bless my nephew Jordan. God bless the USS Carl Vincent CVN 70. God bless the United States Navy. God bless every man or woman who wore the uniform of the United States. And God bless us all. See ya.
A happy ending. Not F the Dodger Stadium parking lot. Richie, it's been a while. I haven't heard F the Dodger Stadium parking lot. I haven't heard F Manny Machado. I haven't heard F everybody who hates us. But I appreciate the sentiment, the thought there. Appreciate your nephew and those fine folks that do serve the country. I mean, I couldn't do it. This is the best service I got for our country, and it ain't a good one, guys. And if it is a good one, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. What a terrible segue on ya boys' part. Appreciate the voicemail hotline. Appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Call in for the next show. Not done yet. We'll talk a little bit more, and then we'll head out of here because a little bit of a news dump to end the show. Kevin's not here. I want to mess with him. I usually want to make the news segment the Dodgers news dump. I do want to make it his segment because I think it is kind of fun for the kid. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about those depth signings. We talked about them today on Dodgers territory. The Dodgers signed a lefty minor league reliever, a righty minor league reliever. Doesn't matter their names, like Joe Jarvis. The other guy is something Jocks, whatever it is. It's a couple of dudes that, who knows, maybe those are the next guys who are the next versions of an Alex Vesia, the next versions of an Evan Phillips, of Anthony Banda, or maybe they don't mean shit. But this is what this organization does. While everybody is hoping for the Juan Soto deal, for a Corbin Burnes deal, look at how important Anthony Banda was to this team. Brent Honeywell was to this team. Those under the radar signings that fucking Evan Phillips was to this team since 2021. like, those are the people. Those are the ones that some people like. I'm not excited about, these dudes the Dodgers signed. Absolutely, I'm not excited about it, but I'm excited about the Dodgers being excited about them. So maybe these are a couple of names that I didn't even say. Maybe these are a couple of names we see somewhere in the middle of the season that pick up a bunch of big innings that become staples in the bullpen, or that they come up for a half an inning and they give up 6 runs and we never see them again in their lives. That's where we're at in the offseason. We're letting Andrew Friedman cook, as the kids say. Another one of those guys who didn't really do much of anything, but for some reason was on the 40-man roster for like the entire season. Connor Brogdon, if anybody remembers that name, World Series champion. Connor Brogdon, mind you, spent most of the season on the 60-day IL. Of course, as the World Series wraps, players that are injured come off the IL, and if you're on the 60-day IL, you come off and you're re-added to the 40-man. He was re-added to the 40-man, but the Dodgers, as we know, if you've been watching this show at any point this offseason, any point this season, you know the roster crunch is real. The 40-man roster crunch is a problem for this team. So they DFA'd Brogdon to open up some space. They were hoping they could pass him through to AAA, but of course, there's no reason for him to take a deal right now when he can try to go and latch on with another team on a big league deal or something like that. So he's DFA'd. He elected free agency, and he's gone. So if we reset the 40-man roster, I think we're at like 39, 38, 37. I don't know. I didn't do the math. Do you guys care? No, but one less dude is on the roster right now. One less guy will be available to start the season. We talked about him a good amount today on Dodgers territory. Brusdar Graterol undergoes shoulder surgery, labrum surgery, expected to be out for the first half of the season. So I'll say it again, big credit to the dude for making himself available in the World Series. If he was pitching hurt, he did a fucking hell of a job pitching hurt. But that injury, you wonder how they're going to, rebound. I wonder how they're going to adjust to not having Graterol again for another season, because he was barely available this year. He was kind of available when it mattered most, but you need to have some back end of the bullpen guys. Now, they really, of all of these people that we're talking about, if we're talking about the Dodgers needing to re-sign Teoscar Hernandez, wanting Walker Buehler back, Blake Treinen is an absolute must, and we've talked about this a few times already on the channel this offseason. My God, does Blake Treinen need to come back? And I'll piggyback off of Diane here saying, to like and subscribe to the channel. Hit that thumbs up button. Mash the heart button if you want Blake Treinen back. One of the words Mark Pryor used today when discussing Blake Treinen was his heroics, because he did some hero shit for the team in the World Series. So, shit, I salute Blake Treinen on that one. But anyways, with Graterol out, there's and re-emphasize need to have Blake Treinen come back. And I see the hearts coming in. Appreciate you guys on the chat. There's a re-emphasize need, reaffirm need to have Blake Treinen back. And we talked about this as well on DT earlier. Maybe this opens a path to the re-signing of Joe Kelly, unless they go another route. Maybe these dudes that we talked about earlier, maybe those are going to be the replacements. I think if Joe Kelly re-signs, it's probably not going to be until like February, unless he gets a deal somewhere else earlier. Maybe the Angels he signs with to stay close to home. Burp. Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah, this is just having fun conversations, or not even fun. We're just having conversations. 2 more things I wanted to mention as part of the news dump that are off the radar and unimportant to the team. Old friend Mitchell White. Hey, you guys remember him? Mitch White, who was traded to those Blue Jays. He did hop a plane to Toronto to go to the Blue Jays and netted, who was it? It wasn't River Ryan, but I forgot who the Dodgers got back. Another one of those Andrew Fleesman type moves. But he is signing with the KBO, so he's going to Korea. Hopefully that means he gets an opportunity. Hopefully that means he gets to eventually come back to the States and earn a lot of money. Mitch White was a good dude. Met him before. Just he's a class guy. He's a class act, and I'd love to see him get an opportunity in Korea. Another thing, last thing, old friend Richie Hill. Dick Mountain he's 45. He's 44. He's going to be 45 at the start of next season. He wants to keep pitching in 2025. Richie, hang it up. It's okay. You can pitch in men's league. When I bring my softball team back, you could play on my slow pitch softball team. And look at that. That's a promise that is here on the internet in perpetuity. Rich Hill has an open invitation to join my softball team, Netflix and chill, in the beautiful city of Whittier. Anytime, Richie. Fly on out. I'm not paying for the flight. Got bats you can use, in the scrap zone, as Ross Stripling told me it was. But anyways, that's about it. Appreciate you guys hanging out on the channel. More stuff coming up this week. We might have something special on Thursday. If not something special, it'll be something special either way, because I'll be back. Kevin will be here. We'll be hanging out, having a good time. So thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for the engagement, the hanging out, the comments, questions in the chat. You guys were awesome as always. Brought it, as the kids say. Thank you for, I think there was one super chat tonight, so I can't say the chats, just the one. Richie Flores with the $5. Appreciate you, Richie, as always. You are the man. Generally want to thank our channel members, our Patreon supporters. You guys rock. You help me. You contribute to the show directly, and that means a lot to me. If you want to support the show, again, I'll tell you, check out patreon.com/realfrg. Check out YouTube members, the join button here on the screen. I think it's somewhere like that side of the screen here on YouTube. Check it out. It's $5 a month, and you get to join us on Discord. All Dodgers is presented by Bet Online. Thank you to our mods for doing a kick-ass job. I am Real FRG on the social media machines. Give me a follow if you want. A lot of people are leaving the Twitter. I'm seeing it from my follower count, but I'm still there. I'm still on Instagram. Sometimes I post Dodgers. Most of the time I post something about the show. Other times I post I went camping and I'm drinking or whatever. But give me a follow. If not, cool. Subscribe to the channel. Okay, bye.